everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish, and a very special guest for today, the one and only Amanda Foreman. So obviously this is going to be a little bit of a different podcast. Normally Fish and I watch an episode. We talk about it at great length, more length than you want. We're still going to do that. We are on season 2, episode 21, the Aretha Theory. So we're still going to do coverage of that episode separately, but because we have the Meghan Rotundi with us today. What an opportunity this is. So we're going to go through and we're going to ask as many questions as she will let us ask to also talk about this episode, but also the whole series. So we're going to ask some of our own questions, as well as pull in some questions and comments from our Instagram family. So keep listening. Nope, it's not going to be spoiler free more than any episode we've ever covered before. We're going to cover all kinds of ground here. So today, we're just going to jump in with this. And so we're treating this interview, I just wanted to point out, they're treating this interview as a companion. We have heard some of the content with Amanda before in the Versus Rewatch, the ATX Festival. We've heard a couple of these interviews, and we want to try to cover as much new ground as we can. We're going to try to link those interviews into the show notes so that you all have access to that as well. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. So who am I? I am Melissa, and I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
I am excited today. Very excited. I have my coffee, I have my puppy dog, and we have a special guest.
We sure do. Without further ado, let's bring her in. We are happy, so excited to introduce Mandy Foreman, who has graciously let us call her Mandy, the Meghan Rotundi. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, thank you for being here. Very excited to have you here and have a chance to just talk through it all with you. We've had so many questions, even as we've been talking about the episodes, so many questions that we've been dying to cover. And to have you here is just so awesome. So
I'm excited. I do want to see the dog before this is done, though, Fish, please.
Okay. That'll happen. Fish has some show and tells for you, actually, as we go through this. So first of all, how are you? How are things going for you?
Everything's good. I mean, life day to day, it's good. Everything's good. I actually just had lunch with Greg Grunberg, who plays Sean, and Larry Trilling, who directed a lot of the episodes. And I actually asked Greg if he would come on, but he was doing something with one of his kids today, so he couldn't. But everything's really good. I still talk to a bunch of the people from the show. Carrie's one of my best friends, and Robbie, who plays Richard. And I'm writing, and I directed a short, and I've got 2 cats, and I do voiceovers, and everything's good. I can't complain.
You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, obviously we watched back an episode for today. How is it watching these episodes back for you? Were there any specific memories coming up for you from this episode?
I had forgotten about this episode. In fact, I hadn't watched it when I went to lunch with Greg. And I said, it's the Aretha Theory. I said, is that the one where you wear assless chaps? And he goes, I think so. And I'm like, yeah, you wear assless chaps. So I'm like, you got to come on because we'll talk about that. But it was not that one. I went to a club twice, or maybe even more times.
Maybe the same club.
Maybe the same club with the weird upside down neon colored umbrellas on the ceiling. I'm like, that's such a set decorator touch. That was something about, the show was so dark. I mean, literally dark, like lighting and stuff. And so they really warned away using too much black and stuff. So the club was very brightly lit. I'm like, wow, I don't know of any underground club that looks quite so brightly lit in real life. But forgot. Yeah.
So everyone now listening knows that I know the secret. I very early on, I made some comment about, oh, Greg has a cute butt. And then Melissa was like, you are going to be so happy later on. I was like, why? Wow. All right. That's a thing.
We've been keeping that one protected. And you know what? If you've been spoiled by Mandy Foreman, it's a good day.
Totally worth it.
I think so. Wait, you haven't seen this? You haven't seen the?
I've seen it, and I remember like big things. Like I know certain things, like you and Greg get together, and like I remember the big things. But there are a lot of things. My memory's not so great that I'm like, wait, what happened? And
I'm the same. I forgot so much of this episode. I forgot Ruby was a thing. I forgot she was a thing. And she's such a nice girl, and she was so nice to work with, but I completely forgot. I forgot she and Scott she and Noel did they have a thing? And then they break up because she gets pregnant by a different guy. I remember shooting that scene. Am I spoiling? They we're like having a painting party, and he has to come in and he goes, "It's not mine. The baby's not mine." He has to come in and say that, and we could not get through it without laughing. We had to keep doing that over and over again because it was just really dramatic and so funny.
I think that episode was one of our 10 out of 10s for both of us. It was kind of a hidden gem in season 2. Can appreciate why the painting party went off the rails on set.
Yeah, and the producers always wanted us to be it's kind of like the Progressive commercial that's running right now. Have you seen that, where they're like, people want to see young people having fun and having that commercial that's running right now? Mm-hmm. That's how the producers were for this show. They were always like, they want us to be dancing and all in one group. So that was part of the reason for the painting party and like the dancing that went on. And so we always thought that was funny.
I love that one with just making a mess of everything. I do love the dancing scenes. They're amazing. And then when Richard goes to the bathroom and everyone just leaves, and then he comes out, we're just sort of looking around and we're like, yeah, this is not the first time it's happened to him, is it?
Richard's a great character. That character name is Richard Code, was the name of the first AD. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah.
So awesome.
Listen to your other interviews.
Oh yeah, sorry. I won't repeat the same stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, you go where you need to go. We will make this happen. It's fine. Well, we do want to know if we take it back a second here. Like, we know from listening to your interview with the Versus rewatch that when you shot the pilot, you thought it wasn't going to be like maybe like a 1 episode gig for you. Mm-hmm. What was the evolution for you to get from there to a breakout episode like this, where we actually had an Instagram comment from @Galinsky_. She said, "This is the Meghan episode." Mm-hmm. Among all the other things to love. It just adds her special brand of oomph to the whole story. I mean, you have some important speeches in this episode. You have some really big stuff in the episode we've just covered. So what was that evolution to get from pilot to here?
I mean, I'm not behind the scenes, but I guess behind the scenes, somebody was like, we really like that the dichotomy between Carrie or between Felicity and Meghan. They're so different and they're such good foils for each other. And so I think they just wanted more of that. And I guess the response was good. So they kept adding more and more Meghan, which I think was smart because, Felicity's, she's a lot. She needed a little bit of a takedown sometimes. So I think that was just it. And I think it gets to be so incestuous in a weird way, just the three of them, Felicity, Noel, and Ben. And they needed to widen out just to give it some more colors and more playing space to explore new things. And I think Meghan was a good way to do that.
Yes. I mean, since you bring it up, what do you think that relationship between Meghan and Felicity is really important across this show? So what do you think, how do they change each other? How do they affect each other?
Well, Felicity grows up a little and Meghan softens a lot. I think then they meet somewhere in the middle by the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think it's very kind to say that you're like to put deference to the writer's room or whoever, that they were seeing something and writing more of it. But I think a lot of this is also your delivery, and something that we were noticing even from the beginning is that, they would give you 10-second scenes. They'd give you walk in and out of a room or say one word or one line. And even from the beginning, it felt like Meghan was a complete person and a full character. And we don't actually know how you do that. How did you go about making her feel so full, even when you had so little on the page?
Well, that's nice. Thank you. I think two things. Well, I kind of based the character on a girl that I knew named Jen, who was a bartender at this really shitty bar in Hollywood, and she was in a band called Beast. And she was just always like straight-faced, but she was really funny, but she was very dark, and I liked her a lot. My boyfriend at the time was in her band. I kind of based it on her because she never cracked a smile. But also, the writers and JJ and Matt, I knew them before the show. So there's a lot of Meghan, there's a lot of me in Meghan. I would never, I don't think, have been able to walk into a room and get that job because I don't look like that. As you can see, I have a very I look like a mom, or I look like a girl next door, and I don't dress like that. But that is kind of who I am in a lot of ways. And they knew that. So they just offered me the part knowing who I am, which was a great stroke of luck because, as I say, they didn't want to hire me. I don't think I was not their choice. The casting people they had, who they had in mind was Constance Zimmer. She was on, do you remember that show? It's a great story. I'm going to just keep going with
listeners. You tell us.
Yeah, that shit was like about behind the scenes of like a Bachelor type show. And she's a really good actress. She was on Entourage, but I kind of even know her. And at the read through, or like a read through, she was there. The first read through that we had, she was there. She played a small part, and they had wanted to hire her. The casting people had wanted to hire her for my job, but they didn't because JJ and Matt wanted me. And she looked like that. She looked kind of more like the character, how they made her look. Anyway, that's who I think they wanted. And then
the magic of you happened, and they went, because I mean, even in this story, and this just really struck me, and I'm going to go to a specific scene that I really loved, which is, and we'll go back to some of the other stuff, but when you were in that convenience store, Meghan had built up all these walls, or already had all these walls between her and Felicity, and therefore her and the audience. And I'm not an emotional person. Like, I never cry at like TV or anything like that. It's just not something I do. But you had two specific lines. One with Greg, when you walk up to the character Greg, and you say for the second time, like, no, really, can we find a sandbox? And you have this like look of vulnerability about you that just, I don't know, like started to break my heart. And then you walk back to Felicity and you say, okay, now it's your turn to take me out. And it was like all of the walls came down. Like, I kind of choked up, and I was like, how did you do that? Like, you go from having all these walls up and you say two lines, and it's like everything is just kind of laid bare. And it really struck me. So as much as you say, like, maybe I didn't look like that or whatever, like, there's just certain things that you do that I'm like, as an actor, I'm not an actor. I don't know how to do any of this. Like, how do you connect? How do you do that?
I don't know, but you're very nice to say that. I think everybody's got, I mean, everyone has walls up and everybody has a softer core inside. I certainly do. And I'm much softer in person than I was on the show. But of course, you can just sort of, anybody has that. And you just sort of become that person for a second. I bet you could do it, Fish.
Well, just watching this scene over and over again, Fish, and I think you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of, you just become, everybody's pretty vulnerable if they just take a second.
Well, if we go back to sort of like big picture, because you were telling us, so this show ended up being more than you might have thought it would be. You didn't think you were going to get the role. You got the role. And then here you go.
Well, I didn't even know about the role. I didn't even know about it. I just knew when we did that read through and Constance was there, I think she even said, I was supposed to play your part. And I was like, oh, not in a mean way. She was totally great. In fact, it was my birthday that day of that read through, July 15th. And when I walked in, there were balloons tied to one of the chairs. And I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. And I went to sit down and it was in fact for Scott Foley, who has the same birthday as me. So, and I sat down and I was just sort of sitting there and I had met Constance and she said that. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, it's fine. She was so nice. And they started singing happy birthday to Scott. And I said to Constance, it's my birthday too. And she was like, happy birthday. I'm like, thank you. But that's how I knew that because I wouldn't have known that because they just offered it to me. I didn't even know the pilot was happening. So, and I don't remember what Constance played, but she had like a small part that they probably were like, sorry, we can't give you the part we wanted you for. This is the casting people.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
Amazing.
anyways, I interrupted you, I think.
No, I mean, anything that you say, we're just scooping it up. So so you did eventually get the show. You have this role that grows and grows. How did the show affect your life, professional or personal?
Oh my God. I mean, well, first of all, I made amazing friends. I'd known Greg before, Greg Grunberg, through JJ and Matt. But Carrie's one of my best friends. Robbie's one of my best friends. Scott Speedman is a really good friend. And it changed my life. I bought a house. I mean, I was living in a rent-controlled studio, which is fine. And it was so cheap. And it was great. It was in West Hollywood. It was when I moved in, it was $180 a month. By the time I moved out, it was, I think, $215 or something. Like, it was, I lived there for 7 years and it was so cheap and I couldn't justify moving ever. And then when I got the show and like I became a series regular and I was talking to Robbie, who plays Richard, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a 1-bedroom. He was like, why don't you buy a house? And I was like, what? Oh, shit. Okay. So he introduced me to his realtor, who was this wackadoodle, hilarious Bobby. Her name is Bobby. And she would Robbie used to call her a gorgeous glass of Cabernet. That's what he would call her. Because she would like drink wine during while we were going to look at houses. And she was always just like souped up on, I don't know what. And we'd drive in her Jaguar. And she was my realtor. And I found my house with her. And so, yeah, I bought a house. I bought furniture for the house because I really didn't have any furniture. And so in that way, and I made friends and it set my career going. And I mean, it was just the biggest blessing in my life. And it was so much fun. So much fun.
This is everything I wanted to know about Rob Benedict.
Oh my God. He's amazing. In fact, he's in Canada doing an episode of The Boys, which is on, I have to watch it now. I have not seen it, but he's doing an episode of The Boys because he did a bunch of episodes of Supernatural. He played God on that show, and that show is huge. Have you ever seen it?
It's like one of the longest running shows ever. It's like one of the longest running shows ever, right?
Yeah, and it's not on the air anymore, but it's huge. And I didn't even, do you guys know who Aisha Tyler is?
Oh, yeah.
So I was in acting class with Aisha like years and years ago, and we're friendly. And when I told her that I knew Robbie, or that Robbie was, and she was like, oh my God, I'm in love with that show. I'm like, you're in love with that show? I've never seen that show. I've never seen it. Nobody I know has ever seen it. It's fucking huge. And they do conventions all around the world, like thousands of people. And Robbie has a band and they get up and play. Like, it's insane. So, and of course, Robbie's in a lot of other things as well. But the creators of Supernatural, I think they created The Boys, which is like a dark take on superheroes or something.
That makes sense.
If I haven't seen it. But he's up in Canada doing that. And he has a nude scene, he told me, which is fucking, I mean, it's a prosthetic, so you're not going to see anything for reals. But he's like, yeah, I have a goddamn nude scene. How'd that happen? I'm like, I don't know. Congrats. But I would have been so much fun to have him here, but he's not here. He's in Canada. So
another time. We're here with you and we're happy about that.
Robbie's the best. He's just the best.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of clothing or no clothing, Fish, I think that brings us to your correspondence.
It was an amazing transition. Good job.
Like that?
So I do make a few minor comments on clothes and hair and makeup and sweaters throughout this series, and absolutely love everything that Meghan wears. And we also had a comment from someone on Instagram at Ruby and Simba 13 said, I am in love with Meghan's entire clothing line throughout this show, as am I. And so we were just curious, in the back scene, looking at, this particular episode, how did that club look come together? How does that happen?
Oh, my look?
Yeah.
I don't know. The designer was a woman named Linda Sarajan Fasmir. She had a hyphenated last name. I think her name was Sarajan and her husband was Fasmir. And she was the best. And she was just so like, I don't even know. I'm sure she's still working. She was great. And she was just so, she was really quirky, and she would say, oh, we don't want to get too matchy-watchy. So and she would go to like Forever 21 and Hot Topic. I got your stuff from Hot Topic. And she'd like hang it up. And so everything I had was from like these stores for teenagers, of course. And then Carrie was dressed so completely differently. She was really good at her job. She is really good at her job.
She dressed everybody?
She did, yeah. She did such a good job with everybody. So I'm assuming everything that I had came from Forever 21 or Hot Topic, which I don't even know if Hot Topic exists anymore, but those kind of fast fashion stores that, but I was not, they did not want me to wear too much black, which I felt was a shame because obviously in life I would have worn all black, I assume, but for a TV and for such a dark show, as we said, it blended into the background too much.
That's a tough note to give for what the style of what your character was supposed to be.
And most of what you were wearing was black in this episode, except the skirt, which when you get up on the go-go dancing platform, I noticed was red.
You're right.
And what I love is they do your makeup. And it's like, yeah, sure, she's wearing a lot of black, but then bam, giant green eyes.
Yeah, the makeup was so intense. That was a lot of time in the makeup chair every morning, and fun. But like I think the first 2 seasons, it was this makeup woman named Christina Bartolucci. And she was she was great. She was really adventurous with colors, and she would use these really hyper intense pigments on my eyelids. And so one time she used orange, and I don't remember what episode it was, but it literally tinged because I wear contacts, it tinged the color of my contacts orange. It was so intense that it bled through my eyelids. And it was great, but like getting it off was like a chore. And then if we ever wanted to go out after work, it was like I can't take this off. But it was cool. It looks really cool. I agree.
We are gonna find these people online and figure out everything that they're doing. We have so many questions, and
Christina, I think, may have retired. Christina and Laura, who was the hair person, they developed this company called Duwop, DUWOP. And they made, like, in this episode, you see Elena with eye gels on her eyes the morning after they go out. That was a Duwop product. They also made this stuff called lip venom, which was like this stuff that would kind of plump your lips.
I've used that.
Yeah. So they developed this whole line, and I think they both quit. They were like, they sold the company for a lot of money, and Christina has 2 kids, I think. I'm not sure if Laura is married or whatever, but yeah. They got out because it's a really intense job. It's a lot of hours, and it's really difficult. Hair and makeup, they're there before everybody and after everybody.
Yeah, that was one of our other questions, because we always, you always seem so gracious in all these interviews, and everyone always talks about like cast and then crew. And we just wanted to, also give you an opportunity. Like, is there anyone else from the crew that you kind of wanted to shout out, or you had a good relationship with and wanted to, kind of talk about a little bit?
It's been such a long time, but I was really friends outside of the show with Scott Jacobson. He did sound, and Ryan. Who's Ryan? I can't remember his last name. Ryan and Scotty did sound. They were the boom operators, and they were great. And Ryan, I was just talking about him the other day. He was really into Queens of the Stone Age at that time when I didn't know who they were. And he was like, he'd always make me like put on his, I think it was Walkman at the time. I don't even think it was, I honestly, and he'd like go sit over there and listen to the Queens of the Stone Age. I'm like, it's not bad. So I was friendly with those guys. They were great. Everybody did such a great job. There really wasn't a bad apple in the whole thing. This woman, Judy, did craft service. She was so nice, and she lives in Palm Springs full time now. She's retired and plays pickleball. I just saw her because I went to the Alias reunion because I did Alias also, and Judy was craft service on that as well. So she was at the Alias thing that Jennifer Garner put together.
You really do keep in touch with quite a few people.
I do, yeah. Well, they're so nice. JJ is really good at just assembling nice people because he's nice, and I just think he doesn't put up with assholes, really.
It's a great quality to have.
Yeah.
Wish every boss would do that in their work environment.
You did say the word boom, and Melissa's whole face lit up. She has a question which you may or may not be able to answer, but
okay,
I'm wondering about it.
This isn't even one we wrote down. This is we're just throwing this in. So we watched the documentary 2 episodes somewhat recently, and that one got kind of meta where I understand that you can't, like, there are unions to do some of the jobs that they were trying to have Sean and Richard doing in the show. But the idea of Richard holding up a boom mic and somebody else holding up a boom mic over him is just like driving me.
He probably was mic'd. He probably had a mic pinned on somewhere, and that was probably how they mic'd him. But you're right, yeah, they of course didn't shoot it. Our camera guy shot that because can't touch a camera. But it's funny, I think that Robbie did. Did you guys ever watch documentary Now?
No.
Oh, it's freaking funny. It's on, I want to say it's on A&E, and it's Bill Hader and Fred Armisen, and they do takeoffs on actual documentaries, or the one that I saw that Robbie's in. I think those guys produce it, but this one that they did that Robbie was in is based on Grey Gardens, and they play the two women. Oh my God. Fred Armisen plays the older Big Edie, and then Bill Hader plays Little Edie. Have you seen this documentary?
I've seen the documentary.
Why not?
But I'm now going to watch this show.
Why have you not seen the doc? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great, okay, so Grey Gardens is a great documentary. They made a freaking stage show of it, and Drew Barrymore did a movie based on it or something. I don't know, but it's amazing. Yeah, so you should watch the documentary Now with Bill Hader, and Robbie's in it, and he plays the boom operator.
I can't handle it.
Weirdly.
Oh my goodness.
That was kind of
a weird thing to be typecast for.
I know, right?
I know. Oh my gosh. Well, we have another pretty major process question that we've been wondering in a lot of episodes. So, in the first 2 seasons, there are a bunch of different times when you'll see like a party scene with a whole bunch of people having dialogue, music, dancing, all of that. So in this episode, we see one of those at the T-Bone Club. Actually, there's a lot of time spent in party scenes in this episode, both in the T-Bone Club and Epstein Bar. Sure. So can you tell us, like, what is that like on set? What's the experience of being an actor in a scene like that? We see this like really fun party atmosphere. What's happening for you?
The people who are the main cast, so in this case, it would be me and Carrie and Tangi and Amy Jo, and then I think Kevin Weissman, who coincidentally played my husband Alias, but we didn't get to that.
He's so great in this.
I know, he's so good.
I saw it and I was just like, wait, is that Marshall?
Yes, isn't that funny? Yes, he's so funny. So the people that have dialogue of course, are mic'd. And then the extras, or the atmosphere, they mime everything. They don't make any noise. And then the music, they'll play like a snippet right before they say action, so we know what the beat is, and then they cut off the music, and then it's just quiet, and people are fake talking and fake laughing and all that stuff. And then so you can hear the dialogue, and then they put all that stuff in after the sounds.
Wow, that must be so weird.
Yeah.
To be like, just all these people.
They also have a trans person in this episode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I forgot about that, which is fucking cool. I didn't even.
I wasn't sure if Bijou was trans or drag queen or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. I just think she was trans.
She was so gorgeous.
Yeah. I was even in that scene, and I'd have to ask if I saw Ian, who I am friendly with, because I didn't talk to her or him much. I don't know if he was a drag queen or she was a trans person, but yeah.
It was so great to see Meghan's world and like this full life that she had in that world.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a bonsai demon yourself?
I have not.
We have to look up the ingredients.
It looks like it has Mountain Dew in it, though, doesn't it?
It's Midori. That's why.
Oh, is it?
It's a melon liqueur with vodka and lemonade and a lime wet. I mean, it sounded pretty good.
Wait, where are you seeing this? Is it online?
Yeah. Well, most people call it I think a green demon.
I never knew that. Well, it sounds delicious. I would drink that.
It sounded really good, but kind of dangerous. So we were wondering, just personally, like either what is sort of your it's dangerous drink because it really tastes good, or like worst drink you've ever had? No one should ever have this shot or drink.
I hate ouzo a lot.
Oh,
Hate
interesting.
ouzo. It tastes like NyQuil. I don't know. I don't understand the appeal of ouzo. And Jägermeister is really gross. I'm not a big drinker, so if I drink, it's like vodka soda or maybe a dirty martini with Tito's. I would do that.
Very cool. Mandy, just to be sure, so do you have about an hour? Is that what you got? Okay. So
commandeering.
No worries. So I'm just going to pick a couple of our like top questions. Well, I do want to know, because this is something we've talked about so many times, and you even mentioned a little bit about this in an earlier question. Set decor and props. So in the first 2 seasons, we have been absolutely mystified by some people's like room decor. And then we look at a character like yours and it's like perfect. And it's interesting to see that balance. We have some ones that like don't make a lot of sense. Like Felicity has a random blue bike helmet that's just like in the room all the time. And Noel has this giant American flag in his room.
Does he really? Oh my
God. We had a big debate in this season for the Thanksgiving episode. There was this what looked like a giant framed peppermint on the mantle in Noel and Elena's apartment. There's just stuff in so many other people's rooms that's like, what is that and how did that get there? And then we see all the stuff they use to like all the trappings around Meghan, and it's like perfect every time. So, can you talk to us about, do you have any insights into how it was decorated, or how the props were chosen, or even who was involved in the process?
Oh gosh, I forget the prop guy's name. It's I forget his name. I think it was Marshall. I think his name might have been Marshall, but I can't remember. I mean,
we're gonna look up
Meghan seems like Marshall. An easy one. Meghan's pretty on the nose. Like that would be, to me, the character that would be the easiest to decorate for. I think Felicity's more vague. I mean, what are you going to put? Like, you know what I mean? I don't even know what you would put. So, I don't. I mean, we would joke about this. I mean, in the loft apartment, there's a fridge with a glass door, and it's all stocked with sodas and waters. Do you notice that? Maybe you don't even. It plays sometimes in scenes, like people go to the thing and they take something out of that fridge but it's like, who has that? Or like, this stuff in this apartment is insane. Like there's a leather couch, there's that fridge there. It's just like, and the apartment itself is insane, with like an elevator that goes right to the apartment, and they kind of play it off and say it's rent controlled. It's like, is it though? I mean, that's crazy. It's beautiful stuff, but I don't, like my experience of college students, they don't have that much nice stuff lying around.
Yeah.
That's Sean.
It is Sean's apartment, and he, of course, has a lot of money with all of his inventions.
Successful entrepreneurial activity.
Yes.
Yeah, one of our favorite props from the freshman year season was on your side of the room. There was just a giant poster that said funeral-bration, and it was a funeral-bration event. And we had the screen stopped, and we were trying to spot things in the room, and we were like, that's exactly it. That's totally an event that she would have gone to.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite items that they gave you in any of the scenes?
I have a painting. So when the show wrapped, there was Alicia, I don't know why she was the prop. She wasn't the prop master, but she was the prop assistant, and we were friends. And there was a painting on the wall in my room that was from the Disney prop house, which has been, I mean, that's from the 30s, it's all that stuff. And there was a painting on my wall that was like an oil painting of a jungle kind of lagoon, and it's from the 40s and really old, and I just thought it was so cool. And I mentioned it to Alicia, and when we wrapped the show, it was in my trailer. She gave it to me.
Wow.
So I have it on my wall right now. I love
what a
it.
cool gift.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
She
goodness.
stole it.
Fish, should we do a little rapid fire?
Yeah, so we had a couple of people at Heather O'Brien, and I am going to butcher this name, at Marina
Present us.
Presents, who asked questions, about your relationship with cast members. And, we thought we'd kind of turn it into a little rapid fire if you're willing.
Sure.
We were wondering if you could give us one word to describe each cast member, and we can kind of give you the name of the cast member. If you give us your word for them. So we're just going to start with Carrie Russell.
Gosh, there's so many. I mean, that's bad. I'm bad at rapid fire. This is not rapid. She is, I mean, like, I want to say funny, but I also want to say self-possessed.
Very
nice
good.
Combination.
Both of them. Scott Speedman.
I mean, they're all funny. Scott is, I can't think of one word, but he doesn't give a shit.
Scott Foley.
Oh, I think Scott Foley is softy.
Amy Jo Johnson.
Amy Jo is confident.
Tangi Miller.
I mean, they're all like there's so many good. Tangi is unpredictable.
Greg Grunberg.
I mean, they're all so good. I love them all. Greg is hilarious. He's just so freaking funny.
Rob Benedict.
Oh God, I used funny already. Bobby is he's eager.
Ian Gomez.
Damn it. Let's just start by saying they're all funny.
Funny plus blank.
Funny plus. Ian is really smart.
And just one more.
Okay.
Donald Faison.
Oh God. He's a troublemaker.
I have to ask just on him because I do. Is he like as smooth in real life as he is in many of his like shows?
I don't think so. I mean, to me, because smooth sounds disingenuous, and he's not. He's so. I don't think. I mean, charming. Not to me. Maybe if he was trying to get with me, he would be, but he's not. So I just get plain old Donald, and he's so like warm and fun and easy, and he's not putting anything on for me. So maybe, I don't know, if he liked you that way, maybe he would be. He's just more fun.
I think the fact that you're saying like everybody's funny plus something that really reads in the show, because I'm very struck by how to a person, everybody is like fully committed to both the really dramatic stuff and there's comedic scenes that every single person in the show has. And everybody seems to be fully adept with both. So the fact that you're saying so many people have that sense of comedic timing themselves makes a lot of sense.
Everybody's just funny. Nobody was like taking anything. Nobody was being a jerk about being at work. Everybody was excited to be there. And truthfully, it was like a big thing for the biggest thing for everybody there. So nobody took it for granted. Nobody was like, when are we going home? Or none of that, which you see a lot, which is okay, but it's just wasn't the case on that show.
Yeah. Well, we have just a couple more questions for you before we let you head off to your next thing. One is, this show is our Felicity. What is yours? Like, is there a show or a movie that you rewatch for comfort, or just that makes you happy?
God, I mean, I'll tell you what I'm watching now for a movie that I cannot turn off if it's on Quiz Show. And I know it's an old movie, but I cannot stop watching. It's like I get hypnotized. It's so good. It just looks so beautiful. Right now, well, I love Severance. I rewatched that with my boyfriend, which I always rewatch stuff with him because he never catches it the first time, but I do. And I'm rewatching White Lotus, the second season, but we haven't gotten to the end yet, so no spoilers. But I love that, the way it looks and the music. Same with Severance. There's just something about the music. Like music just makes all the difference.
We have found that.
You have found that, yes.
Yes.
Like if you watch The Social Network, that movie, try to take that soundtrack out, and it's just not that great of a movie. But the soundtrack makes it all of a sudden like it's important and it's weighty and it's just great. So
yeah. Wow.
Different versions of Felicity, because we have the DVDs, we have the streaming, and then we have at Felicity Restoration Project, which is another Instagram account. And, we're just going back and forth between the different music. There's only been a couple of times where it's really thrown me off. Bolero.
Some of those songs, I mean, even in this episode, and by the way, I've forgotten about it's a film canister. No, it's a time machine. It's such a beautifully written. It's so great. I love that moment. I love all of that with them. But like the final song, like a lot of the songs, when you try to watch it on Hulu, they're like these like going my way, and like they're not even a song, like, and like there's not like a point to the song. It's like hold music. It's like it's just like words strung together and like sung in a whispery voice. It's so bad. So I'm really glad.
Like that's the Felicity vibe. Sing it in a whispery voice. Maybe have the word "hey" in there a couple times. You're good.
Yeah, it's really true. It's really true. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, I'm glad that they are doing. I know that they're doing that. Restoring the music is so important. They're not showing those anywhere, are they?
The plan is to release it.
Yeah, so it's all on Instagram, but it's not organized, by season or anything. But it's just scenes right now, but they just put out relatively recently another message saying, like, we're almost done. We're hoping to get the DVDs ready so that people can order them. And so we could see the actual full series.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah. Makes a huge difference.
We do want to close with one question that you probably get anytime you are asked about Felicity, but we're asking it again because we want updates. Are there any updates on a reboot? Is that a thing? Is that something that's discussed or?
I have an idea for a reboot that I was just telling a friend of mine, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Not really. I mean, everyone's busy, but I think people would be into it to a certain extent. I know Carrie's got a new show that she's, of course, the lead of, and so she won't have much time, but I think everyone else would probably be up for it. I don't know about Scott. I think Scott's on Grey's Anatomy right now. I think I have not seen it, but I mean, no. The answer is no. There hasn't really been any serious talk. JJ is busy, but he's always on board if something sounds fun and good. So you never know.
Awesome.
Can I see the dog, please?
Absolutely.
Shall we wrap the podcast? Because I think Fish has a couple show and tells that listeners, sorry, you don't get to experience it because this is audio only. So we can say goodbye for now and have the three of us hang out for a minute. But thank you so much for doing this, Mandy. It was so cool to get these questions answered.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great. It was really fun.
And we know everybody was so excited when we asked people to share questions on Instagram. Our Instagram blew up. So, people are really, fans of the show just like universally love Meghan, and you are Meghan. So, everybody thanks you for being here, including us.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's super fun for me.
Awesome. All right. I will go ahead and stop the recording, but thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Fish. That was amazing.
That was unbelievable. She was so nice to spend time with us, and I loved all of her answers. She shared some really amazing stories that I just really appreciate.
I did too. Look, I know you all sent in. We received a lot of like questions and comments to bring to her, and we tried to include them wherever we could. And then she took the conversation such cool directions too. So we just tried to flow with it. And I feel like there's so much to think about now. Even if we go back to some of the episodes we already covered, but definitely moving forward, there's like all this really new insight. And we got a lot of crew names.
Yes.
Aha.
You're looking up.
For those who've been wondering about the blue bike helmet, we have some names here.
Yeah.
Or at least some partial.
And the double mic booming, we got that answered. I mean, so many things that now we can put new stuff in our brains.
Absolutely.
Now have been answered.
Absolutely. I am very pleased to know that they at least play a snippet of a song on set when people have to dance.
Yes.
That's handy.
Except when you change the music later.
Except when you change the music later, and then it's all irrelevant. But that's okay. That's okay. We understand the process now. All right. It's good stuff. Well, we, are just thank you to Mandy for carving out the time, for being so game to do this and just answering any question that we could think of and volunteering so much more information. She was a blast to talk to.
So incredibly grateful.
But I think we've pretty much covered it for today, Fish, right? So yeah, until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.